Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are here in the sit down with Sauce God and 12 Gauge, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on the Roku TV app for the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. And of course, let's go ahead, let's bring in our guys for today in the sit down. Myself, the Sauce God, right here, also known as Anthony Bomasudo. I'm not sure why that's what my name says, but whatever. I am, of course, Sauce God. You can follow me on my social medias at Buffalo Sauce God, and this is sponsored by www.buffalosaucegod.com, your source for daily entertainment, sports, entertainment, Bills Mafia coverage, and some merchandise options for Sauce God and much more. A lot of cool stuff. And also, guys, this is sponsored by Duff's Famous Wings, the original Duff's Famous Wings, the one over there on Sheridan Drive, the best damn chicken wings that exists. But if you guys are now just tuning in, or whether you're first time or not, or recurring viewer, do me a favor, hit that like and share. Join us here in the comment section as well. And, do me a favor too. If you haven't already, follow me. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of the live content or any of the content that I have coming out. In fact, I had a really great reel that I posted on my Facebook page not that long ago. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome in my co-host and also the producer of the show, who's doing a ton of work behind the scenes, but also here because he's hyped up. 12, how are we doing this morning?
Oh, I am doing very well here on this Victory Monday, Sauce. How about yourself?
You can tell he's in a good mood, folks, because he's got a deep voice. He didn't drink he just honestly watched a great win, and he's proud of it. And you could tell he's in a great mood, too, because he said, oh, I am doing very well. That's when I know Gage is ready to talk Bills football, and he's ready to hear exactly what I got to say. So you guys have to really be tuned in for what I got to say, because, hey, last night was an absolute stomping. Some people out there didn't really expect last night to go the way that it did, but maybe some of us in Bills Mafia kind of foresaw something like this happening, right? So Bills Mafia is starting to wonder, where do we lie in this whole playoff race? Now that we're 8-6, where do we stand? We're going to talk about all that and much more right here in the sit down, and also we're going to go through the NFL matchups around Week 14 as well. But without further ado, first, Gage, you don't want me playing me that Northeast Streaming Sports Network video, so these folks out there that watch on the ROKUTV app actually could just sit down and watch us right on their TV so you can see us nice and big on your big screen. Let's play that video.
This is Northeast Streaming Sports.
And just before we play that introduction video, I'm going to say real fast to my buddy Tyler Andrews, a quick shout out to my guy who is recovering from breathing treatments, breathing problems. And I'll tell you what, man, this dude is an absolute trooper. One of the best dudes out there, and that's our guy that talks hockey with us. We hope to have Tyler back in here in the sit-down this weekend, or hopefully sooner than that, perhaps. But, hey, by the way, Gage, the guy was willing to do the show from the hospital bed. I'm just saying. That's dedication right there. So, without further ado, if you guys haven't already done so, check out my other social medias on Facebook and Anthony Bomasudo, also on YouTube at Buffalo Sauce God, on TikTok at Buffalo Sauce God, and on Instagram at Buffalo Sauce God as well. And I'll tell you what, Gage, like I said, I posted that reel of Josh Allen on that 4th-and-1 play years ago in Dallas on Thanksgiving. And I think that that's kind of what started the hype train because, hey, we were expecting to maybe see a little bit of that from Josh Allen last night, but this is going to be an interesting episode. We're going to talk about a great Bills performance, but we're not going to talk very much about Josh Allen, which is going to be a really, really shocking thing. But we got a great show here planned for you guys right here in the sit-down, presented by Ducks Famous Swings at www.buffalosaucegod.com. Live on Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Roku app for the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. And live on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk everything Bills Mafia and as well as Sabres related as well. So let's go ahead, Gage. Let's play that introduction video with the official song, Sauce, by local recording artist Mark Lee. And let's get it started.
Let's get this over with. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's simple, baby. Buffalo Bills football is heck, all right? Let me tell you something.
I'm gonna crack a cold one since it's a tailgate.
Ooh, ice cold, Mike. Let me tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are live here in the sit down with Sauce God, a sports and entertainment show.
I'm whipping the sauce, I'm tripping, of course, I want it all. All of my dogs be running with guard. Your mama, you holding your pennies and bra. Cause when I get whipping the sauce, you taking it off. I'm dancing on tracks like stomping the yard. We keeping it quiet, we moving in signs, but now we starting to riot. Yeah, keeping my eye on the prize. I got me a queen, we riding like Bonnie and Clyde. Trips to Dubai, the way I be blessing, I'm destined for changing my decimals. Decibels hitting the wave, I'm rapping incredible, splitting their head like a cantaloupe edible. Got me so high, I'm touching the sky. Of course, I give it my all. I'm whipping the sauce, kicking the door. But then we been here before. She ain't involved, well, she ain't involved. Taking my shot, even if down, we tying the score. Do your dancing, now twist, don't stress, don't trip. Whipping sauce real quick, stay dripping, sipping on cognac. Roll tea in my veins, but you find that I'm whipping it, watch it get saucy.
How you doing it?
I'm twisting and mixing and shaking them haters right off me.
What you doing?
And if you're as hyped as me and you're ready to get saucy and you're ready to hear everything about the Buffalo Bills' performance against the Dallas Cowboys at home last night, then do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the react. I don't care. You want to hit the laugh button, you want to hit the angry button, go ahead. Because I'll tell you what, I've heard a lot of slander coming from the Cowboys fans. You know, basically just say, oh, y'all couldn't beat this. Dude, don't matter. We beat you guys last night, and I got nothing bad to say about the Cowboys. I thought the Bills just played a better game. So we got a lot to discuss today, ladies and gents. But, of course, we usually start this show off with a little around the NFL for what we got for Week 15. And Gage, if you actually don't mind pulling up the scores from everything that we had yesterday, and of course we're going to talk about some of the bad moments from yesterday, because if you're in the world of sports betting, you might have had a bad day yesterday, you might have had a good day. You might have been like Timmy, who just decides to pick the opposite of me when it comes to the Colts going over. But without further ado, so Gage, we're going to go ahead and ask you here, buddy. What did we have for the scores around the NFL in Week 15 on Sunday?
Well, we had Atlanta, Carolina in a low scoring affair, 9-7.
Oh God! Now, let me pause you real fast. Atlanta, Carolina started off with tickets at 45 cents. Okay, listen, I don't care how bad they are. I'm going to that all day. 45 cents to watch some professional football and watch an absolute shit show. Listen, all I'm saying is I felt so bad for Timmy. He had the over, a measly, 33.5? Dude, they would just give him hope, and then, give him hope, give him hope, The Panthers, man, wow. It's like they're really just looking like they're the biggest losers of the year because, hey, they drafted, Bryce Young, who I'm not saying is a bust, but could have had C.J. Stroud, who's got the Texans looking like a playoff team. And, of course, they have to fire their head coach, Frank Reich, who is now going to get paid to sit his ass at home on the couch. I think the best job in the NFL or world is probably being a fired NFL head coach because you're just going to get paid a lot of money and sit on your ass and do nothing. But, Gage, continue here with the scores. What else do we have around the NFL?
Well, the Cleveland Browns beat the Chicago Bears at the last second, 20-17.
So, now let me highlight this. For those of you that don't understand, I don't care if you like betting or not. The over-under for this game was 37.5. And this is a game, Gage, that it did not move, okay? And it ended at what?
7. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying, folks. And there were a couple things that got called back. You know what I'm saying? That's the world of sports betting. But, hey, if you ride the under there, you got yourself away with one. Now, Joe Flacco is continuing to show me that, hey, Cleveland's got themselves a squad, and a veteran quarterback can step in with this team and, maybe do some good things with them. Cleveland, honestly, is going to make it difficult for the AFC North and anybody else in the AFC playoff hunt. So, the Bears, man, the Bears just like to trick people. They can come out and look sharp at times, and then it's just like, nah. So other than that, great for the over-under. But Gage, continue for the scores. We'll keep going through my my reaction on these games too.
Yeah, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeating the Green Bay Packers 34-20.
Okay, now for when that over-under came into play, it was 42.5. Now I'm saying is, if Tampa Bay didn't give Green Bay the ball back, like right in the goal territory, when they stood tall in a 4th and goal situation, that game probably would have stayed under. But no, at that moment, that's when I knew this is going to be a really tough one. So that, of course, hit over. What else you got for me?
Well, we got them Miami Dolphins defeating the New Jersey Jets, shutting them out 30-0.
Now, this game right here is basically funny in itself because really the Jets looked like they had a hold on them for a second, right? But then it's like, who's playing quarterback? Who's playing offense? Who are they throwing? They're throwing to Garrett Wilson. Nope, they're not doing any of that. It was just a whole bunch of them. I'll tell you what, if you want to bet the over with a Jets game, you better hope the other team showed up. Because Miami came out and they did their part. You needed, 36.5? And they got 30. Terrible. But, of course, that also means for us, ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins are going to stay cocky, and their fans are going to stay cocky, and they still have to play us and the Ravens, and I think the Cowboys as well. So, continue, Gage.
Next one we got New Orleans Saints defeating the New Jersey Giants 24-6.
Now, I don't want to talk about this one because it just did not go well for me. And I just want to say I don't understand why at times the Giants can move the ball, but it's only when it's going to be for a punt to pin the ball back in the other end zone for the other team. It's just whatever. That game was nonsense. Continue, Gage. Tommy Cutlets, I love you, buddy, but hey, the real sauce, the real paisan is right here in the sit-down.
All right, next we got the Houston Texans beating the Tennessee Titans 19-16 in overtime.
I think that just shows DeMeco Ryans is a great head coach and came in with Case Keenum, and that team is just playing well with the guys they got out there. That's a team that really found a way to just turn things around fast, and this started with C.J. Stroud and DeMeco Ryans especially. Shout out to the Houston Texans and Andres' team.
All right, next we got the Kansas City Chiefs going into New England, beating the Patriots 27-17.
Now, you shouldn't need much help to beat the Patriots, especially if you're the Chiefs and you have Patrick Mahomes, who's supposed to be all-world. But, of course, they needed some help from the referees. And, at this point, it's funny to find me and Gage sitting there saying, come on, New England, do something. That's us. Interesting times that we live in. Gage, take it, continue.
All right, the next one we got the San Francisco 49ers. Going big.
Great day for Brock Purdy in fantasy football, but of course, I played against Drew, who had Christian McCaffrey. So as much as I had a great day with Brock Purdy, it didn't matter because Christian McCaffrey probably solidified himself as the MVP of football. I think I honestly would still consider giving it to Josh Allen, but Dak took himself out of the race. Jalen Hurts, I don't think, is in the race, and Brock Purdy could win it, but somebody from the Niners at this point, unless they have a huge collapse at the end of the season, it looks like it's going to go one of their ways. All right, anyways, continue on, brother. What else do we have?
In LA, The Rams beat the Commanders 28-20.
Yeah, now the Rams are just interesting, right? Because, like, we all thought this is rebuilding, whatever. Matt Stafford, it looks like he's had his one good year with them. But no, they just find a way to sort of win games. And it's just low-key that you don't hear much about Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald is low-key making a huge impact in every single game that he's still playing in. Dude is still dominant. But it ain't going to matter. Continue on, brother.
All right. Here we go. This one's big for us. We got Dallas coming into Buffalo, losing to the Bills 31-10.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, folks. But if you guys are just now tuning in, do me a favor, hit that like and share. And also, if you haven't already done so, join us here in the comments. Call in my hotline right now, 716-800-1772. Whether you're a Cowboys fan, Bills fan, or a fan of another team and you want to call in and talk shit, hey, you want to talk hype, whatever. Call into the hotline right now, ladies and gents. But we're still going through these around the NFL Week 15 matchups. We're going to talk about the Bills and the Cowboys here just ahead, folks. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned here, right here in the sit-down. So, Gage, what else do we have alongside of after with the Bills?
Well, the last game of the night had the Baltimore Ravens traveling down to Jacksonville, beating the Jags 23-7.
Now, I left this part out for a reason. Lamar Jackson needs to be mentioned in the MVP conversation 1,000%. And I don't care if he's not passing for 6,000 yards or whatever, which I saw a funny thing that said he's only 2,900 yards away with 3 games left, but maybe he can get it. You know what I'm saying? Which is funny as shit. But Lamar Jackson playing efficient football. And you know why? Because I've been saying this to Timmy for years. And Timmy's Ravens fan, hardcore, whatever. And I support the Ravens. I said, get Lamar Jackson true receivers. You go get Zay Flowers, and you go get Odell Beckham. You got Isaiah Likely, who obviously can ball too. The Ravens have figured out how to use their offense and use it efficiently, paired up with the way that they can play defense too. And I think that the Ravens are kind of like the Bills. I don't know if we're seeing their best football necessarily. So Ravens, that's a team we got to watch out for, man. I think that we could maybe see them down the road should we meet in the playoffs. So, Gage, around the NFL, Week 15, good action. We're seeing, Bills Mafia has been asking you and me both, who do we want to lose? And I said this before, I don't ever look at that sort of hypothetical, because I want to say that the Bills have a chance to still win their division. It's mathematically, it's not impossible at all. It's not where we need this team to lose this week. It's not like that. We have to win out. Miami needs to lose. Miami is what? They got 9 wins or 10 wins, Gage?
10.
Okay, so now here's the thing. If the Bills win out, that would technically mean that Miami loses at least one of their games. And I think if they lose to us and at least the Ravens or the Cowboys, boom, the division's ours. As long as we win out too. So that's what I'm saying. Bills Mafia, just win. Focus on the win. You guys have to realize that even though when you watch ESPN or you watch Fox or CBS and it says in the hunt and you see the Bills are down on their list, don't look at that. That's just for everybody to count you out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody to forget about Buffalo for a second. That's not the case. The Bills are very much in the playoff hunt. They still obviously, they don't need help, but they need to win their games, and they need to keep playing football the way that they are. So I'm excited the way that the Bills are setting themselves up with a chance to make a run here late in the season. And I think that this is a critical time to do so and find your best football. And it's funny, Gage, that we're finding some of our best football, and it's not even in the ways that you would think so, right? So let's go ahead and play a Sauce God rant of the day. And that's going to be just me, real fast, ladies and gents, telling you, Tommy DeVito, I have nothing but respect for the Paisan, but dog, I get that you're under fire all day long back there. You don't have much protection. But there are times I'm watching this dude just hold the ball. You know what? You're better off when you run with it. You might as well run with it. The Giants just couldn't go out there and give me a little bit of something to hit that over. Nope. They had to mess it up. I had nothing but faith in that one, and I should have known better. But Brian Dable, what is going on? honestly, you have to find a way to get Tommy Cutlets in the end zone, because there's people out here that have parlays, such as Gage, such as myself, such as Timmy, such as a lot of people out there, and I think a lot of people are frustrated. Tommy Cutlets, Tommy busted. That's what Tommy was this week. So, guys, stay away from the Giants in any future bets, any parlays, any straight bets. Stay away from Giants picks. Just don't touch it, because they're bound to mess it up somehow, just like the Jets. Any team from Jersey, as a matter of fact. Hey, they're fooling you already, because they say that they're from New York, but they're truly not. So let's go to the weakest link play here next, which is going to be a little video first. And this week we're going to talk about something a little bit different than we do here in the show. I need to clear my throat, actually. Gage, play that video. Yeah, I think it would have been beautiful to see the Kansas City Chiefs lose this week, especially to the Patriots for it being such a heavy favorite, and then them just continuing to downward spiral. But, of course, the NFL had to make sure that they saved their new golden child, not their old golden child. The old one graduated and moved on. Some of the other worst moments from yesterday, I think I want to see that Micah Parsons is healthy. I think that he went down at some point yesterday. I saw a lot of, as much as I loved that the Bills were laying down the smack yesterday and really aggressive, I didn't like some of the helmet-to-helmet stuff that I was seeing, kind of. And I know that's not necessarily intentional or anything like that, but I think that's something that we need to try to clean up a little bit, because I've noticed, Gage, there's been quite a few guys for the Bills this year that have been in concussion protocol, except, knock on wood, Mitch Morse, which that guy is pushing it when it comes to the concussion threshold. So I'd like to see a little bit less of that, and I'd like to see more of that. Just like, dude, was it Dodson that came and like absolutely just laid that like a Matt Milano type of hit over the middle and just leveled the guy? I mean, the Bills, man, I love that, but you guys want to make sure that we clean it up. But refs, NFL, don't find us. Another one of the worst moments from yesterday was all the people that had the over for the Cleveland Browns and the Chicago Bears game. I truly feel for you. You're sitting at 37, and you know that they started picking up the pace in the second half. And that's a game right there that hey, it's the Cleveland Browns and Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is a professional point shaver, is the way that I look at it. He likes to come in and mess things up, and Justin Fields likes to just get some last-minute, catches that are throwing like ridiculous passes that I don't get it. I just don't get it. But that's another thing to stay away from the Browns and the Bears. All right, Gage, let's go ahead and go into the Bills stomping of the Cowboys 31-10, improving to 8-6 on the season. But real fast, go ahead and let's play that introduction video one more time for those out there. So let's get the hype back up. I want to say real fast, too, shout out to my girlfriend, Emily, who is the voiceover at the very beginning, hyping us up here. So, Gage, let's play that introduction video again, and let's get ready to get into some Buffalo.
It's over with. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's simple, baby. Buffalo Bills football is heck, all right? And we tell you something.
I'm gonna crack a cold one because since it's a tailgate.
Ooh, ice cold, Mike. Let me tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are live here in the sit down with Sauce God, a sports and entertainment show.
I'm whipping the sauce, I'm tripping, of course, I want it all. All of my dogs be running with God. Your mama, you holding your pennies and bra. Cause when I get whipping the sauce, you taking it off. I'm dancing on tracks like stomp in the yard. We keeping it quiet, we moving the signs. But now we starting to riot, yeah. Keeping my eye on the prize. I got me a queen, we riding like Bonnie and Clyde.
And we're back from that brief moment of a commercial. And this is, of course, the sit down right here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, presented by Duff's Famous Wings and www.buffalosaucegod.com. Sometimes I know I talk very fast, ladies and gentlemen, but I get a thrill out of it. So bear with me. But, of course, I'm your host, the Sauce God, here with my co-host and producer of the show, 12 Gage. Gage, we got to talk about something good here today, buddy. And I'm glad that we have Victory Monday. But I'm glad that we won the way that we did, too, right? It's just a way that I think that we need to win football games. Keep us humble, but realize that we can do things in an alpha male's mentality, right? So the Bills stomped the Cowboys 31-10, of course, at home. 425. By the way, thank you, NFL, for giving me a Fox broadcast with Greg Olson versus the Jim Nance and Tony Romo. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do that all the time. I like that. Greg Olson's a great commentator, and I got a lot of respect. He was a great tight end in his day, too. But, Gage, I think the Bills now, improving to 8-6, have set themselves up to where they understand this thing is within their sights. Greg Olson at one point said something that I've been saying on this show for quite some time. He said it doesn't need to be about divisional or we're number one seed. You just need the opportunity. And if this team can get in, this team is, I think, has more than the ability to make a run here and really do this. And that's what I've been saying week after week after week. Even going back to last year, and the year before that, with the possibility of losing the AFC East to, another team, everybody just got down on the Bills so quickly just because it looked like we were behind. But this is the thing. We have Josh Allen, and we have a team that has such an elite defense that, I mean, it's just crazy that we're watching the way that this defense plays, and this is without Matt Milano, in my opinion, possibly your best defensive player. This is also with no Tre'Davious White. This is also with Von Miller at about 50%, but he seems to kind of get it going a little bit more here in recent weeks too, which is a good sign too. But overall, man, people forget that we are well coached. I know that Sean McDermott's come under question a few times, and even in recent news or whatever with his comments from 2019. But this is a team that's got experience. They have late in the season experience. They have a postseason experience, and this is a team that has a lot of chemistry. One of the things that I think is wonderful about the Buffalo Bills is it's a homegrown talent type of team. And the Yankees were really successful when they were homegrown. Now when they had all these, superstar players, not to say that, hey, I'm not excited about Juan Soto and possibility of this, pitcher or whatever coming over, but I'm just saying sometimes it takes the actual bonding of a real team and the real building of a team from the inside out. And I think overall, the Buffalo Bills are just showing everybody exactly what they are. And it's a team that is going to just be in the mix at the very end of the season, no matter what happens. And this is a team that faces adversity, but they respond to it. I think last year there were a ton of distractions. There were a lot of situations, obviously, that happened that made the adversity that much more severe for us. And also with DeMar Hamlin, that situation, injuries, everything. This is right now a team that has nobody focusing in on them so much to take a little bit of the Hollywood spotlight off, per se. And this is a team now that is just playing because they got nothing to lose. And that's the way that I want to see this Bills team play. Overall, improving to 8-6, you have the chance to make the playoffs, number one. You have a chance to still win your division, number two. And that's all it takes. I use always, and I always say it repetitively, but the Giants of 07. Wildcard team. How about the freaking 7-9 Seahawks beating the Saints with Marshawn Lynch's incredible freaking run? And nobody thought that they deserved to even be in the playoffs. All I'm saying is, any given Sunday, when you have an all-world quarterback, an all-world defense, and you have the best damn fan base in all of sports, shit, man, I got to believe that anything is possible, right? So the Bills came in yesterday, 2.5-point favorites. It started as 1.5-point favorites. People thought it was going to be shitty weather. It really wasn't that bad. It kind of steered clear of Orchard Park, so we kind of lucked out in that regard. But this is a game I knew the Bills were going to win, Gage. I knew I never had that anxiety at all. I didn't necessarily have the anxiety against Kansas City neither, but I've definitely had anxiety in the games that we lost. I'm not just saying that either, but not once yesterday did I feel like that. I felt like the Cowboys kind of were riding high and emptied the guns a little bit on the Eagles and the Niners, whatever they had to do, but they weren't ready for the Bills because the Bills played a game that nobody was ready for. The way that the Bills won yesterday was just not exactly the way that I am accustomed to watching this team win. But I've been saying for weeks and since we drafted this guy from Georgia that this is exactly a way the Buffalo Bills could win games and a way that they could find their identity offensively. So with that being said, guys, you're right here in the sit down. Hit that like and share. Join us here in the comment section. And also, do me a favor. Subscribe, like, follow, and turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of the content for your daily entertainment and sports entertainment, and also Bills Mafia coverage from myself, the Sauce God. But we're going to go into our next segment here, which is, of course, bada bing, bada boom, and this is going to be the best things for the Bills' 31-10 victory.
This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away. You got to get up close like this. Bada bing! Bada bing!
Bada bing, bada boom is the good things that we see. And the best things from the Bills' 31-10 victory were the fact that you beat the Dallas Cowboys, and you did so with not even your Superman of a quarterback and your offense that you build everything around, and without really much production from Stephon Diggs. At times, yeah, but almost some costly mistakes from him. Gabe Davis just becoming like an all-world run blocker apparently for the Bills too. He doesn't need catches. But holy cow, the Bills yesterday defensively, Ed Oliver is a guy that I think people were a little leery when we, gave him the contract extension in the offseason because we wanted to, have the money for other guys per se. But Ed Oliver has been earning that extension, and he's always shown me that he doesn't need to get sacks. He doesn't need to get numbers. He has hands in the air, pass deflections, batted balls. This is a guy that I just literally see doing incredible things at the defensive tackle position. Paired up with guys like Jordan Phillips, if we get Daquan Jones back, it'd be wonderful, right? I think what I'm seeing from our defensive ends, we didn't even have A.J. Epinesa out there yesterday. I like what I see from the Bills squad. We didn't have Micah Hyde defensively. I worried about that. I did. I worried about that a little bit. But Taylor Rapp stepped in, and he stepped up, and so did Jordan Poyer, and so did our linebackers, and so did our defensive backs. I just feel like it was a well-rounded performance by everybody on the defense. But here's the best part. When the offense got the ball back, they did their defense a complete solid and said, hold on, we're going to actually move this thing with some serious efficiency. And the Bills never once lost control of the game yesterday. Kansas City almost climbed back last week. Cowboys never had a shot from the start. They got their little touchdown at the end, but really this was a 38. It could have been 38, maybe even 45 victory over the Cowboys. Cowboys have a great defense. It's, of course, without Trevon Diggs over there in their secondary, out this year with an ACL injury. I like Trevon Diggs, but I don't necessarily care for how he fuels rumors about his brother all the time. But overall, the best things were that the Bills were just efficient, solid, clean game. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot, and whenever they did have any sort of hiccup, they always responded back offensively or defensively. And I thought that we just had other guys step up to that yesterday that really shows that this team is not just Josh Allen. It's much more than that. So let's go into our next segment here. But before we do that, guys, don't forget that we are live Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us here in the comment section as well. And this is, of course, Buffalo Robbie saying happy Victory Monday, Bills Mafia and Sauce God. Go Bills, high sauce. Of course, brother, go Bills. And the guy is a content creator himself, and I've been on his podcast. Shout out to Buffalo Robbie. But now we got to go into the opposite of good things. You got to have the bad things. So what are we going to say? Forget about it. Play that video.
What's forget about it? If you disagree like a Lincoln is better than a Cadillac, forget about it.
So the things to forget from the game. The fact that Stephon Diggs didn't really have much production. He really had a fumble that we got lucky that they didn't decide to challenge that one. He had some drop passes, including another opportunity to convert a third down into a first. And I'm just wondering, where is his focus? And maybe this is kind of like Stephon Diggs understanding that, hey, maybe that's kind of my duty to take a little bit off here and let other guys step up, right? Because the Bills won yesterday in a great fashion, and their offense played incredibly well. I don't think anybody on offense could be disappointed. Whether you had a catch or not yesterday, whether you had any sort of production, I don't think you could be upset if you were on the Bills offense yesterday. So I think overall the things to forget are just forget those little mistakes. When you get your shot, you make the best of it, and you step up at that opportunity. But right now the Bills just won the game. So as far as I'm concerned, there ain't much to forget about this game. But to forget the game, because now it's on to the LA Chargers this week. And I know everybody's saying there's no Justin Herbert, but that doesn't mean anything. No guarantees. Foot on the gas. Don't look at the point spread. Go and take care of business. Stay healthy. Get home. Bada bing. And my dad will be at the game too, so hopefully he gets a chance to really enjoy some Bills Mafia football too. And, shout out to my dad too, guys. Appreciate the prayers and vibes from my old man, who is battling his own stuff in his life as well. But hey, he's always getting through it strong. And of course, love you, Dad. So let's keep it going here, Gage. We don't have much to say for Forget About It. Let's go to our next segment here of the QB Sneak, which is normally with Mike Shimbersky, but who is at the moment on the layaway here as he recovers from a significant injury and COVID. Let's play the QB Sneak video. And now for the QB Sneak with your co-host, Mike Shimbersky. Evaluating Josh Allen's quarterback play, listen, there ain't nothing you could say that was bad about his performance. It wasn't anything to fucking write home about, no, but it wasn't anything bad. Josh Allen did his job. He did his job incredibly well. He didn't have any turnovers. He still got a touchdown in the running game, a touchdown in the passing game, adding 2 more touchdowns to his tally, and I think he's, first player in history to ever have 10 games with 1 passing touchdown and 1 running touchdown in a season, which they make up new stats all the time, but still Josh Allen continues to do amazing things. I overall like the way that he was able to not get any sort of turnovers. He played efficient, and he played really great football by just being, listen, they gave Mac Jones credit when the Bills lost to them, the Patriots, 16-14 in that win game, and because he handed the ball off incredibly well. And he threw the ball twice, and it didn't do shit. Mac Jones didn't do nothing there, but Josh Allen did do his part. He picked up first downs when he needed to with his legs, also with throwing. And I think the way that we saw that grown man type of running again this week, what we saw a little bit of last week, man, is just making this Bills offense becoming more of an alpha male as week goes by. So I think overall Josh Allen's quarterback play this week, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Because, hey, he didn't have to really have a great passing game, but he didn't have a bad passing game. And at the end of the day, the Bills' offense played an incredibly great football game because they played almost old-school style football. And a guy that I think you have to hashtag let, cook once in a while. We'll talk about that here in a brief moment, guys. But if you're just not tuning in, do me a favor. You're here in the sit-down with Sauce God and 12 Gauge. And this is presented by Dust Famous Wings and presented by www.buffalosauceguy.com. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and on the Roku app. The Roku TV app, the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. So don't go anywhere, guys. We still have much more to talk about the Bills and Cowboys game yesterday, because I'll tell you what, man, I'm still as hyped as ever. So now let's go into our next segment here, ladies and gentlemen, of the victory formation. And let's see what was the offensive highlights for yesterday's game. All right, so it's just the James Cook show. James Cook. Hashtag let James cook. Because he just legit, he had another touchdown too he could have had, right? But of course, he has to once in a while have some butterfingers. But James Cook, man, yesterday just an absolute monster. Had over 100 yards rushing in the first half. The first Bills running back to do so since LaShawn McCoy in 2016. I mean, he was active in the passing game as well. James Cook just honestly put himself on the map for anybody that didn't know about James Cook. And I think that what he was able to do yesterday, holy cow, man, it's incredible just to think that, I hope this furnace doesn't go up, by the way. And if it does, I'm going to honestly be a little tight. But James Cook, man, it was all about him yesterday and nothing else. And what more can I say? It wasn't anything else outside of him. I don't remember much else from any other Bills players except for the running backs yesterday and Josh Allen. It was just really a day about James Cook and the defense. Old school football, and that's kind of what the Giants try to do, but the Giants just don't ever seem to have any sort of idea on how to actually do it. So, without further ado, Gage, is my audio picking up the furnace?
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
Nope.
Okay, wow, this is incredible. So we're going to keep talking here about the Bills' offensive highlights overall. I think Josh Allen, with using his legs, has been such a difference maker. Joe Brady deserves so much credit, too, for the way that this Bills' offense is starting to look. and how efficient they are. Because one thing that he has done since he's come into this scene of action is using the other guys on offense, which is something that I think none of us expected to happen, but really it needed to happen because Josh is great, but Josh is even better when you don't ask everything of him. When you can literally have other people just allow him to play simple quarterback. Hey, Tom Brady had guys that could allow him to do that at times. Good defense, good offensive line, decent running backs, right? That's all I'm saying, guys. Let's go into our next segment here, though, ladies and gents. And, of course, if you haven't done so, like and share. Join us in the comments. Feel free to call on the hotline. You see that number down below, 716-800-1772. Still talking Bills Mafia and much more ahead here in the sit-down. So, Gage, let's go ahead. Let's play that next video. Bada. Yes, the defensive highlights for the Buffalo Bills, man. It's simple. The pressure can make the world of a difference. Dak is a mobile quarterback. He's a big guy, too. But, man, the way that we are collapsing the pocket nowadays is just different. You know, you turn one way, and all of a sudden, boom. That's the big difference that I saw against, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs last week. Even he can be an elusive motherfucker against us. Bills are just finding ways to collapse the pocket, get pressure consistently, and make plays. Now, I like the way that we were almost going to force so many different turnovers yesterday, right? This Bills defense is just absolutely on fire. Defensive line is absolutely, I've said absolutely so many absolute times. But, dude, the way that they get the hands up, the way that they get bat balls, and just that level of pressure and havoc. Oh, and then, okay, Tony Pollard tries to get it going in the run game. No, man, it seems like sometimes a running back might have some success against the Bills. But at the end of the day, when we kind of expect some running backs to really have some more success against us, it seems like we have the ability to shut it down. That was one thing that I thought was kryptonite for the Bills in recent years with their defense, was their run defense compared to how they would play in the passing game. But I think that from learning from mistakes in things like 13 seconds and some of these heartbreaking games, you learn and you develop more wisdom on how to handle certain situations and how to win situational football. And that's what makes teams great. And so the Bills took advantage of all their opportunities defensively. And, hey, the greatest defense right there was also the way that the offense kept the opposing offense off the field, too. The Bills controlled the clock for most of the game. They also had more first downs than the Cowboys as well. So, hey, shout out to the offense again. Got to give them their props for credit is due. But the defense, week in and week out, they're going to step up and they're going to play. So, we still have some more here to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Unsung Hero is going to be the next one. But before we do that, I want to say real fast to my guy over here, thank you, 12 Gauge. It was his birthday this past weekend. And, also he spent some of his birthday actually standing outside ringing bells, to help raising money for charity and stuff like that outside our local grocery store. So, Gage, man, you are an absolute pillar of the community and an absolute monument when it comes to, the fine and the bolster up. So I want to say, happy birthday to Gage from everybody here in Bills Mafia. And we love you, buddy. And thank you for everything that you do over here in the sit-down for me. And as always, man, God bless you. Love you and go Bills. So let's get it going to the Unsung Hero next. And we're going to play that video here, Gage. And we're going to talk about the under-the-radar performer of the week on offense and defense. All right. James Cook was the star, right? Gabriel Davis in the running game was just out there on a menace and blocking. And I mean, this is something that he's been doing in recent weeks, and that's actually what earned him a game ball a few games ago because he didn't even get a single catch that game. He was actually just absolutely making a difference in blocking for his, for the running game. That's huge. You get that out of a guy like 13, man, I love that. But also, Ty Johnson. Everybody's wondering, where's Leonard Fournette? You understand why Leonard Fournette hasn't gotten up to the active roster yet, because Ty Johnson, Latavius Murray, and James Cook, hashtag let James cook. But Ty Johnson, dude, he is a little bit of everything. He got that, ferociousness to him. Reminds me a little bit of Austin Eckler. Got speed. And he's got patience in the backfield, too, where, maybe he's going to get no gain. Oh, no, he gets 2 or 3 out of it. And I think that the Bills running backs, the way that they were able to find extra yardage on their runs, yard after contact, the way that the offensive line was pushing them. That's also an under-the-radar performer in itself right there as a unit. So for the defense, though, man, it starts with all day. Taylor Rapp stepped in today, and I think you got it. It's big shoes to fill when you have no Micah Hyde back there, who is not only a captain of the team, a leader of the team, one of your best defensive players as well. And hey, low key, really unsung hero type of signing that we got with Taylor Rapp coming in. It's like when we talk about him in preseason, how are you going to keep this guy off the field? Is what we were saying, but he stepped in and did his job. And also, too, he drew the unnecessary roughness there in the first quarter, too, after he was being a little rough there with Dak on that hit. But, hey, you got to take what you can, right? So let's go to the next segment, Gage. And, by the way, Gage, real fast, I want to take your opinion here. Overall, do you think the Bills' offense has any sort of is there anything that they need to still worry about? Because, some people say, oh, Josh didn't have a great game. Is that concerning?
Not to me, no.
No. And
It's okay that it didn't have a great passing game. It's okay that it didn't have a great passing game.
I think, Gage, people, probably Miami fans and probably people that just lost to the Bills are saying stuff like, oh, Stephon Diggs doesn't want to be there. Oh, nah, dude, this dude legit wants to win. His brother just wants him to play on the Cowboys really badly with him. I don't understand why he's got to do that. But no, Stephon Diggs is all about the team, and at the end of the day, when we get wins like the way that we did, hey, and he's got nothing to complain about. He had a fumble that wasn't called a fumble, thank God, and some drop passes, and it's uncharacteristic of him. But that's what I'm saying. Stephon Diggs is just fine, and there's no concern for me. Dalton Kincaid might have been a little hobbled yesterday too. It's good to see Dawson Knox looking fresh out there too, stepping into his role. Hey, we can't really get the Kincaid in the passing game today. Well, let's use Dawson Knox and attack with running game. Really just great stuff overall. I think Joe Brady is finding ways to figure this out instead of getting figured out. And that's, hey, stepping in midway through the season, asked to do what he has had to do so far. That just shows exactly what the kind of guy that we got in our coaching staff. Right, so let's go to our next segment here, Gage, of I'll Take That Action. Before we do that, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, understand that I'm going to get a little fired up here. This is rated R in this next segment, and it's going to get a little saucy about some gambling. So I'll Take That Action is coming up here next. Let's go. Let's play that video. Yeah, hey, guys. Life is too short to bet the under. I don't care if it's 59. I don't care if it's 67. You gotta ride the fucking over.
This is fucking ridiculous. We need a fucking touchdown. The stakes are high for these ones, boys.
Over-unders, give me points.
Man.
Alright, so stay away from the fucking Giants, okay? Because that's all they're doing is setting you up to fucking buy into this Tommy Cutlets nonsense. And, what's his favorite Italian foods. Listen, unless he mentions gabagool and seafood di fravol and some fucking real, some real sauce, I don't want to hear it. No, none of that. Stay away from the Giants. You might want to stay away from Falcons. You may stay away from the Jets. And also understand that Tony Totals knows a thing or two. Colts continue to go over. I love that. But, Gage, let's talk about the Eagles and the Seahawks tonight. Now, we know that Jalen Hurts was set to be traveling with the team by himself to the game. He had an illness, which he better freaking play. That's all I'm going to say. But here's what I'm thinking, Gage. I want to see what you're thinking for picks-wise on this game. And if you have any other action to give for the people, let us know. But before we do that, bet and play at your own risk, ladies and gentlemen, because we do not encourage or endorse any illegal or underage gambling. Just bet and play where it is legal to do so at your own risk. And there is options available should you have a problem with gambling. There's a hotline available to you 24/7, and I don't know the number. Gage, I'm liking the over in this game. Over 45. Okay? I don't know what to tell you for spread. Timmy asks me every single day, and I tell him, you know what I'm going to say? I don't have an opinion because I don't like betting on a single, team. What do you think spread-wise?
Spread? like Philly minus 3.5. I really like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I feel like they kind of like are trying to like throw some people off. Maybe no Jalen Hurts and like, oh, they're coming off whatever. Nah, man. Like the Seahawks, unless DK Metcalf is calm and doesn't get rattled, then more than likely I think that I could see that too, Gage. That's a good pick. You like the over as well?
I do. I
Okay.
really like the over.
Now I do like. So I'm gonna tell people you might want to consider over 59.5 rushing yards for DeAndre Swift. I feel like that dude is due for a game, and there's potentially no Jalen Hurts per se. Just saying, might be a good option there. And I also think I like for the receiving yard prop. I gotta give an under once in a while, right? I think Devontae Smith goes under 60.5 receiving yards, and that's just me saying, hey, boom. Now, Gage, you got anything else you want to add to that? And let's see if you got any other picks too. Of course, let's get those out there and let's see what you got.
Oh, there is some hockey tonight. I like Winnipeg, Montreal under.
For some reason, I cannot hear you.
Under 6 goals. Am I muted or what?
We got technical difficulties.
No, I'm not muted.
Gage, check.
Check. Can you hear me now?
Huh. All right, Gage, let's go ahead. Let's just continue here. Let's get into our next video, our final one of Gettin Saucy.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Ice cold, nice, refreshing Labatt Blue on a fierce storm behind J817.
It's a cold front, is what that is.
I'm fired up this week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna get you fired up. Bills Mafia, you want to hear me getting saucy this week? It's simple. Mac Jones and the New England Patriots, and also too the Miami Dolphins, and anybody that's got anything bad to say. Bills by a billion, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Bills.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, Gage, I believe you can hear me still. Maybe it might be my sound for some reason. Might have just cut out. I'm not sure why. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is me getting saucy this week, presented by Dog's Famous Wings, right here on the sit down every single week. This is me here getting you hyped. Now, all I'm going to say is, Bills Mafia, we are getting through the gauntlet of the schedule. I wish we could have had the one back against the Eagles. I wish there were some other games we could have back as well, but it does not matter. We are 8-6. We are within striking distance of winning the division. We are within striking distance of getting into the playoffs, which at the end of the day, that's all that freaking matters. Getting into the contest. You just have to get into the big dance, right? That's what we're talking about. So if the Bills Mafia fan base can understand, we got to stay positive and stay on top of the vibes that we put out there, because I feel like when we understand the good vibes and we are being good neighbors to each other and we just are all being nice and respectful and understanding of when this team has mistakes, and for some reason this team responds better. It's almost like when we had people booing Sabres, after one goal was scored by the other team in the first period. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand your vibe. So let's keep it saucy, Bills Mafia. Josh Allen said this week, I don't need to fucking do shit, but I'm going to stir the sauce and hand it off to James Cook. Hashtag let James cook the sauce. You know what I'm saying? He got saucy all freaking day. Absolute nonsense with his seasoning and his flavor, because he was just, hey, James Cook, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of hey, a little bit of that, a little bit of bada bing. You know what I'm saying? James Cook was nonstop yesterday, and I'm telling you what, man. Been saying for a long time, if the Bills can ground and pound play defense, and stay sound. And I know one thing, a victory can be found. So I'll tell you one thing, I'll still be proud if the Bills go out there and show them what we're about. As Gage, one thing I tell you I won't go without is a Bills playoff appearance. Man, I'll say it loud. Hey, let's get touchdowns. That's just me freestyling at the end, being dumb. But of course, that's me getting saucy right here in the sit down, and of course live every Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on the Roku app, the Northeast Streaming Sports Network right here, and myself, the Sauce God, and my guy over here, 12 Gauge. And we're also live on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, Facebook, YouTube. So, without further ado, Gage, I want to say, man, appreciate you very much, the producer of the show. Appreciate everybody for your likes and shares, and appreciate everybody for all your support with all my content. Make sure to check out more of my content, www.buffalosaucegod.com, and check me out across all social medias at Buffalo Sauce God. Turn your notifications on and subscribe to me, like and follow if you haven't already done so you don't miss any of the content from me at all. And I'll tell you what, here's Gage's picks right here. My picks are over 45 for the Eagles, Hawks, and 30.5 minus coming from the Philly, Winnipeg, Habs. Okay. Gage gave you guys some free picks, guys. That's us right here in the sit down. That's going to conclude this week's episode. As always, guys, God bless. Go Bills. Find, stand tall, play hard, and always win. Go Bills. We'll see you next Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, on the ROKUTV app, Northeast Streaming Sports.